being LeBron's team to this being Luka's team. And so, I don't know when that happens, but I guess there is a world out there where it could happen at the trade deadline.
In a 3-man one-on-one tournament, who would y'all take to win? Dalton Knecht, Jake LaRavia, or Austin Reeves?
Give me Austin Reeves.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, give me Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is a good player.
Defense very awesome.
Well, yeah. But hey,
22-man roster right now for the Lakers. Something's got to give.
A lot's got to give.
A whole bunch, almost a whole team.
I was about to say almost half those guys have to give.
No way Hashimura's back, is it?
Yeah, I've seen his name pop up in some trades. So yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be hard to have him back on this roster, but I don't know. That's the thing. It's kind of been a quiet day around the NBA, but there's still a lot that needs to be done around the NBA at a lot of teams, and the Lakers are one of them. We talked yesterday about going out there and getting that center, but there's still a lot of holes on that roster and a lot of decisions that have to be made with that roster.
Markieff Morris can't have much left, can he?
No. Yeah, I don't.
35.
Hey, I enjoyed him on ESPN.
Oh, I do
so
too.
I think
both.
I think he's got a fine.
I just don't know which one's
pathway.
which.
That's it. That is the truth. It's a little hard sometimes to separate them. But yeah, hey, you're doing a great job at ESPN. Go do that, and we'll play as the Lakers over here. So I think that's an easy transition for him. Did you see this last night and into this morning that according to Fred Katz, who covers the NBA for The Athletic, the Rockets and the Suns are working on expanding Kevin Durant's trade into a deal that would involve a league record 7 teams. Other teams involved in negotiations include the Hawks, the Nets, the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Wolves.
So 5 of the 7 Western teams.
That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah, only the Hawks and the Nets from the Eastern Conference in that. So that
in effect affects the Grizzlies.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. And, I don't even know what they look like. I was telling Elisha earlier today, I said, sometimes looking at these 3-team trades can get a little confusing of, okay, well, this is going here and that's going to this team, but this is going to that team. I can only imagine having to see a 7-team trade.
And all the money matching.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be
got to be some wild calls and meetings.
Really does.
Well, and that's the thing is like all the calls to the league office to report the trade. That's
you know who
insane.
can explain it. He's coming up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. He would definitely be able to, and he'd have it done before the NBA office even figures out how the trade is worked. Last thing I wanted to get to, I saw this earlier today, and I don't know the person that posted this, but it is someone that allegedly covers, I guess, the sports scene in New Orleans. A Pelicans-specific website covering the Pelicans. But I'm going to read this from draft night and the trade that went down between New Orleans and Atlanta. So it says, the Hawks could not believe their good fortune, while the Pelicans would spend the next 24 hours facing enormous backlash for the reckless decision-making. Hawks executives weren't shy about sharing the details behind the deal's lopsided structure with rival teams. This was the trade that sent the Hawks an unprotected first-round pick in next year's draft. One Eastern executive with knowledge of how the conversations went from Atlanta's perspective described a perplexing scene. When Senior Vice President Troy Weaver made the call to Atlanta's Bryson Graham, Graham couldn't believe what he was actually being offered. Graham asked for clarification multiple times to confirm the unprotected pick was indeed part of the deal. It got to the point where Hawks general manager Ansi Sala called Joe Dumars directly to confirm for himself. The Hawks waited nervously for Dumars to confirm, hoping that he would not realize what was going on and walk the trade back. But the Pelicans persisted, and the Hawks got their steal.
Boy, that's very unflattering.
Very unflattering.
It's not serious.
No, calling Dumars and praying, everyone having their fingers crossed. Hopefully he doesn't realize what he's actually offering us. That's insane.
Yeah.
And that was the reaction to everybody when they heard about that trade. What are they doing?
And basketball, tough sell in New Orleans.
Basketball, tough sell, and looks like that's going to be a pretty good pick next year for the Atlanta Hawks. But a lot going on around the NBA. It feels like there's going to be a lot of news probably over this weekend to see how some of these teams figure out their rosters, how they add to the rosters, and we'll see if the Grizzlies do anything over the weekend into next week. But let's get to another break, and when we return, we We got to talk some Major League Baseball. We talked yesterday just mountain of baseball games we had yesterday. What was it? 18 games yesterday in
18
action.
finals.
The 18 finals that we got yesterday. So it was a whole lot of baseball. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back.
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Nothing says summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing off a few bets on the game, all with DraftKings Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, it's easy. Just pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride your squad, hope for the best. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The code, as always, is HERD, H-E-R-D. That's code HERD. New customers, $150 in bonus bets instantly, just betting $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Hey, it's Rockin' Ronnie at Gossett Hyundai South on Mount Moriah with his brand spanking new dealership. What's up, dude?
Randy, not only do I have a great new dealership, we've got service available that is less wait time than anyone in town. 16 service bays and immediate appointments available. Plus, a 2025 Hyundai Tucson SE, $288.75 per month and 3.99% available for 72 months. 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL, $349.89 per month and 3.99 up to 60 months available. And a 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT all-wheel drive, $37,180. That's $5,000 off MSRP.
Plus America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah, or shop online anytime. HyundaiMountMoriah.com.
36 month lease, $10,000 per year, $39,900 due at signing. Santa Fe SH 108 451, MSRP 38,730. Tucson SEO 11,938, MSRP 31,110. Cruise RH 126 339, MSRP 42,180. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes pack on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through the end of the month. Deals pack on.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Staggs Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you, live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. We got to talk some baseball. We mentioned Clayton Kershaw becoming only the 20th pitcher and only the 4th lefty in MLB history to reach 3,000 career strikeouts. Only the 3rd active player to reach 3K. Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, the only other active pitchers in that club. And I was reading a story the other day kind of in preparation for him to break this. And the writer of the story, I don't remember, it was either ESPN or The Athletic that wrote about this, kind of posing the question of, will Clayton Kershaw be the last to reach 3,000?
We're at a lot of this could be it.
Yeah.
Because they just don't rack up. They don't have to play as long because of the money. I think Aaron Judge will get there with 500 homers. We were talking about with 500 homers, remember?
Yeah, we absolutely were. And I think the case that this person was making is, strikeouts are up right now. There's a lot of pitchers that are striking a lot of guys out.
But they don't want them.
But it's that innings that is really getting you. You're not seeing guys going 6, 7, 8 innings every single night.
They want them
like
pitching to contact.
That's it, and that's the other thing is you don't see those blow it past them strikeout pitchers.
Chris Sale at 25-28, he's close to done.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough in him to get to that, but. And so that's the thing.
Cole, 22-51.
Yeah, no way.
Charlie Morton, 21-24.
Absolutely not. No. I mean, just no way. I mean, those guys are nowhere close to getting there at their age. So yeah, I mean, we could be seeing the last to get to 3,000.
Sonny Gray and Aaron Nola, 18-31 each. No way.
Yeah.
Sonny Gray turns 35 today.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, happy birthday! Wow. I'm gonna stop and sing him happy birthday or something, but. Does he deserve a happy birthday? I don't know.
When your ace pitches like that last time out, no.
Well, no. But speaking of pitchers that kind of blow it by guys, a young guy we've been talking a lot about, Jacob Mizorowski, who's been dominant. Man, he got lit up last night by the Mets. A Mets team that we've talked about a lot where hitting has really struggled over the last 2 weeks, and bats were out last night.
And Mizorowski really locked in before that, and when he comes off that mound, he's right in your lap.
Oh, yeah. No, he is. He's a lanky guy. I've been really impressed with what I've seen out of him since he started the season or got called up to the Brewers. He's been really fun.
When do y'all go to AutoZone Park to see?
Next
White Sox
2 weeks.
AAA?
No, next week. Right? Next week. I think next week.
Not this Sunday, but the next.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the 13th.
Charlotte,
that's right. Yeah, so we'll see the Redbirds in Charlotte, the AAA affiliate of the White Sox.
Are the Redbirds home tonight or start home tomorrow night?
They start tomorrow night. They're still in Nashville tonight.
Everybody either is at home on the 3rd, ending a road trip, or starting one on the 4th in minor league baseball.
Yeah, so they do the 3-3 with the 6-game series. So.
Golly, I just thought about it. This will be, except for COVID, nobody went in COVID. This will be the first time since AutoZone Park opened that I don't go either the 3rd or the 4th.
Wow. How about that?
Wow.
That's crazy. That is insane. But, hey, I guess it's first for everything.
Everything ends.
That's exactly right. And I guess that one will be ending this year. We also got the All-Star starters announced last night. AL All-Stars, catcher Cal Raleigh. I'm sorry, let me start over. Catcher Big Dumper from Seattle. First baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from Toronto. Second baseman Gleyber Torres from Detroit. Shortstop Jacob Wilson, a little surprise there. The athletic shortstop who's had a really nice start to his career. Third baseman Jose Ramirez.
When he runs out to the line, how do they introduce him? Now, representing the
Athletics.
That's just it.
I guess so.
That's it.
Yeah, no, definitely not going to be Sacramento.
No.
Definitely not going to be Oakland. I don't think it's going to be Las Vegas.
Sacramento at home tomorrow hosting, or the A's in Sacramento tomorrow hosting San Francisco.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
4th of July. Nothing says 4th of July like San Francisco Giants playing in Sacramento.
Yeah, well, it says something. It certainly doesn't say 4th of July. Outfielders, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, Javier Baez, and then designated hitter Ryan O'Hearn. NL starters, catcher Will Smith with the Dodgers, first baseman Freddie Freeman with the Dodgers, second baseman Ketel Marte with the Diamondbacks, shortstop Francisco Lindor with the Mets, third baseman Manny Machado with the Padres, outfielders Ronald Acuna with Atlanta, Kyle Tucker with Chicago, Pete Crow Armstrong with Chicago, and designated hitter Shohei Ohtani.
You know, when you mentioned Marte, I was going to be a wise guy and go, hey, Connor, why don't your fans be not?
It's a great question.
No, the reason why you don't do that is because every fan of every team's not responsible
That's right.
for every bad moment.
Yeah, and it's one bad apple in a thousand of good fans.
I mean, don't cast a big net over every Ole Miss fan because something tawdry has happened in the past. Yeah. And I'll remember, Brian, I did. After the incident at Tennessee at the end of the Ole Miss game in 2021, I told you a very distinguished Tennessee alum texted me that night, said, man, I'm so sorry for this. And I texted back to him, I said, have you thrown anything? And he said, well, of course I haven't. I'm in a suite, and I wouldn't dream of throwing anything. I said, then why are you apologizing?
Yeah. You have nothing to apologize.
He doesn't answer for everybody at Neyland.
Right, but kind of felt that.
And I did. I mean, did you throw? I mean, like,
if you threw something, we have another conversation.
And it wasn't me, but I'll accept Richard Cross's apology. He was on the field.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's one of those things, and it's kind of unfortunate for those people that feel like they have to kind of apologize for those bad
everybody
apples.
needs to remember that when you have that unsavory moment, that's not everybody.
No. It is. It's just a few, and certainly in that instance, it was just one bad fan in Chicago with the Southsiders. But we're getting really close to the All-Star game, certainly with the All-Star starters announced, and I guess with no St. Louis Cardinals in the starters for the NL, we'll see
who will be the rep.
Who will be that rep? I don't know. Maybe Sonny Gray. I don't know.
Helsley?
It certainly could be Helsley. Certainly could be.
And if you load up on a lot of pitching at the end.
Definitely. So we'll see who that representative is from the St. Louis Cardinals. But we need to wrap up this first hour and get to a break. When we come back, we'll get back into the NBA conversation. Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He'll join us. We'll talk the NBA. Plenty to get to. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s injury, what the Grizzlies have done in free agency, around the league in free agency, and also the Knicks. Seems like they have their head coach in Mike Brown. We'll talk all of that next with Keith Smith.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Mid-South, if you're looking for a great deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat for the employee pricing plus sales event. 2025 Dodge Hornet GT. Buy it for $26,457 or $344.68 a month. That's over $5,000 off MSRP. 2025 Jeep Compass Latitude 4-wheel drive. Over $6,000 off MSRP at $23,541 or $297 a month. And 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 5-foot-7 box rear-wheel drive. Over $11,000 off MSRP at $36,869 or just $511.87 a month or 1.9 for 72's available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the bike or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motorcars.
GT S3A 46076 MSRP 31590. Compass ST 567703 MSRP 29765. Ram SN 728 346 MSRP 48260. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
I've got him on the line. Marty McNade over at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, and he's ready to put you in a new Volkswagen today.
That's right, Randy. Guess what I've got available now? 2025 Jettas and 2025 Teoses, 4.9% for 60 months. I've also got 25 Atlas and Atlas Crossports, 3.9% for 60 months.
What else you got over there, Marty McNate?
On top of that, get $1,500 loyalty rebate on all 2025 GTIs, Jettas, Teos, Tiguans, Atlas, and Atlas Crossports.
And you were telling me earlier you've got $5,000 off 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SCLR lines, but only 2 left, so you gotta hurry.
So come see me today, Marty McNate at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWJeep.com. And remember, your future is what you make of it.
Loyalty rebate CD 2024 Atlas RC 226135, MSRP 51733, RC 227219, MSRP 52133. Must finance through Volkswagen Credit. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes factor license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through the end of the month. Include credit use stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic out here right now over here on 240 East.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joins us now to talk the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. Joins us every week to talk the NBA. And right now, a lot going on in the NBA. But Keith, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with the Jaren Jackson news. Suffered a turf toe injury. It required a procedure. I think a lot of people here in Memphis learned more about the turf toe injury than what we knew before. And everyone kind of talking it could be anywhere between 3 to 6 months that he could be out. Grizzlies PR put out a statement the next morning saying that he would be reevaluated in 12 weeks, which would put it around the week of September 24th. What do you make of this injury, and how do you view the timeline of what we could be looking at for Jaren Jackson Jr.'s absence?
Yeah, I mean, who needs all these years of medical school? We could just go to Google and become experts
right.
in a matter of moments, right? Yeah, I mean, that might, as much as to my parents' chagrin, I'll play doctor here a little bit instead of being a real one. This stinks, right? Because we should have been in a moment of celebration. He's at any time here, through the weekend when the moratorium lifts, he's going to sign that big extension through the renegotiation and extension process, and that's going to lock him into Memphis for years to come. But now it's kind of clouded by this. He got hurt, and that the only, I guess, saving grace is he got hurt playing basketball. So it's not, it's not like he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing, as far as all the details have come out. So that is what it is. But it's not the end of the world. He's going to miss the summer of work, and getting ready. So he may be ramped up a little slower going into the process of training camp. But as long as he's cleared and ready to go for the start of training camp, it shouldn't have any impact on the start of his season.
Keith, does it matter when he was injured?
As far as like when he'll be ready to go, is that what you mean?
No, for contractual terms. So, announced Monday, then the announcement of the injury Tuesday. Did they know he had suffered this and still signed off on the extension?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. If this was something where it was like, unfortunately we've had this run of them, but these torn Achilles or some kind of more career-threatening injury, then maybe you might have seen the Grizzlies hold off on this process to renegotiate and extend him. But if they knew, they're clearly going into this with, all right, he's got to get it taken care of. It's going to cost him the summer, but, we'll be ready to go here right around the start of camp and everything getting going next year. So I'm assuming, if they did know, it's not anything they're concerned about long term.
Where are some of the big summer hot spots that a lot of players gather and play a lot of games against each other?
Yeah, Las Vegas is always one. Everybody knows it for Summer League, but place players like to go because they can have some fun and then get their work in during the day. Mm-hmm. Los Angeles is always a big one. Miami, here in Orlando, has become a place that's often a place for players who have families They'll gather here. Their families run off and do the theme parks and the like. Players will gather and play, informal pickup here. It's the one thing I think, people don't necessarily know as much about is NBA players play all summer long. And sometimes when people are like, oh, man, this guy went and played in the Olympics and, this and that, and it's going to be really tough. I think what's important to note is, sure, that does happen, but guys are going to play, all summer in pickup games. And sometimes teams prefer when they're playing in like a national team setting because those are controlled environments, and they're really watching the guys, and it's not just some informal pickup type environment.
So has it been reported where he was injured?
I have not heard anything, nor have I read anything on that.
No, me neither. When talking about the Grizzlies, obviously the big news was the Jaren Jackson Jr. extension, but they made other moves, bring back Santi Aldama. They put Cam Spencer on a standard deal. They also brought in Ty Jerome, and all these moves really took place kind of in that first hour after free agency opened at 5 o'clock Monday night. What did you make of what the Grizzlies did to start free agency?
Yeah, I thought they did well, right? You get Jackson taken care of. You get Ty Jerome in the fold. That gives you a pretty nice player in there. The guys they've gotten so far this offseason, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Cedric Howard, lean a little more defensively than offensively. So now you get Jerome in, who gives you just another nice guard. He's got enough size. He should be able to play with Ja Morant, too. Which really gives you a nice 3-guard rotation group there. And I know some people are like, there they have Scottie Pippen Jr., but Jerome played with other ball handlers in Cleveland last year, too, with Mitchell and Garland. So I'm not too worried about that. Teams are prizing right now having multiple ball handlers on the floor. So I think that's a really good thing and a really good get for the Grizzlies with him. And then I like Cam Spencer. I think he's a guy who really did well in the G League, and Memphis is a organization that has, throughout the course of their run, really prized the work the guys do in the G League. And then obviously getting Santi Aldama locked up long term is big for them in the front court, especially considering Zach Edey's a little bit of a question mark as we go through the summer here.
What kind of big man market's out there with being without Jaren Jackson and Zach Edey?
It isn't good, Brett. None of it is very good unless you're, looking for a point guard. That's probably the best place, and I think we can say pretty confidently Memphis is not. You'd be looking at guys like maybe Chris Boucher, Trey Lyles, Precious Achiuwa. They could run it back with Marvin Bagley if they wanted to. He had some moments for the Grizzlies, and then you're getting into guys like Bismack Biyombo, Jackson Hayes. The tough thing for Memphis is they only have minimum contracts to offer now because everything else is tied up, unless they wanted to get in some kind of sign-in trade. But even then, that's probably more complicated than they really want to deal with.
What is the minimum now?
About $2.3 million almost for this season for a veteran minimum.
What do you make of Jacques Landale? I've seen some people point out him. He's getting waived from Houston. Is that maybe a guy that the Grizzlies could look at?
We went over his stat line earlier. It was not jaw-dropping.
Maybe bring in and just, fill a role while you have all these injuries. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could, right? He's not going to – how do I put it? It's not any drastically better or worse than anything that they is out there also available.
Sure.
So you could certainly bring in Jacques Landale and be fine. And at that point too, you're probably looking at again, it's going to be a minimum contract. You might even be able to drop it into somewhere in the range of being non-guaranteed or partially guaranteed. That way, hey, you know what? We're healthier than we thought. And we don't really need them. You waive the player and move on if that's the direction they wanted to go. But yeah, it's like we said, the market is not great at the moment.
No, it really is not. What do you make of this story, just speaking of big men and big men that spent time here in Memphis, with Jonas Valanciunas contemplating a move from the NBA to Greece? He was just traded to the Denver Nuggets earlier this week. What do you make of that story, and how would that play out?
Yeah, this is a really interesting one here because last year, Sasha Vezenkov was traded from the Sacramento Kings to the Toronto Raptors. But prior to that trade, he had let Sacramento know he didn't want to be in the NBA anymore. And it seems like the Kings kind of wiped their hands clean of it and said, you know what, all right, we're going to send you off to Toronto, let them deal with it. And ultimately what that resulted in was he gave up the entirety of his $6.6 million salary last season to get set free. He returned overseas, and he's reportedly very happy over there. If this news with Valanciunas is headed to him wanting to leave this year, it's going to play out very similarly. Unfortunately, he has a fully guaranteed $10 million plus contract for this season, has a non-guaranteed year next year. There's also the matter of he's in a reported trade where he's sent to be going from the Kings, because why not? The Kings are always involved in the weird situations. He's set to go from there to the Denver Nuggets. And then when we get into that spot, now it becomes how does this play out? The team holds the cards here. They don't have to let the player go. They have a signed contract. It is what it is. In order for them to he's rumored to be going to Panathinaikos in Greece. He's going to go play there. The challenge is he can't just do that. There's a thing called a FIBA letter of clearance that's required to sign a contract with any non-NBA team. And in order to do that, they have to give full proof and attest that they have fully committed and fulfilled the obligations of their prior basketball contract in order to sign with a new team. In this case, if he had not, and let's say it's Denver or Sacramento, says, hey, we don't want you to go, he won't get that FIBA letter of clearance. He won't be able to sign. Wow. The best he could do is sit out, and then that turns into kind of like a James Harden, Ben Simmons type situation where we all saw how ugly that can get. My guess is this will get resolved, and either he will move on and play a year for the Nuggets, and we'll see, or there'll be some form of buyout coming here, whether that's with the Kings direct or that's after a trade to Denver, but definitely more to come on this one.
Of these two nuclear power franchises, who's got a better plan for next year, Boston or the Lakers?
The Lakers. The Celtics are going to be awful next season. They're especially compared to where they've been for the last decade or so.
Is that they don't mind being awful too?
I don't want to go quite that far. And when I say awful, it's relative to what Celtics fans are used to with them. They'll still probably be a playoff team because, let's face it, it's the Eastern Conference, and they still have enough talent to get through the East and make it in to at least the play-in tournament. But their big man rotation right now is pretty much in shambles. Porzingis is gone. Cornette is gone. We'll see what happens with Al Horford, but no one's really expecting him to be back. So they've got to figure that out. Jason Tatum is out long-term. They're really retooling this roster on the fly as best they can. So they've got some stuff to sort through, so we'll see. But they kind of knew this was coming. I just don't think they expected it to come quite this way, and definitely not with Jason Tatum being injured and out of the mix. And then from there, with the Lakers, you still have Luka. You still have LeBron for now, I guess. We'll see what happens there, but they should be set up to still be a pretty good team. They're probably still definitely in the mix for a home court advantage in the West.
Did you hear that for now?
Yeah.
I've been talking about it at deadline time next year, next February. If it's not going well for the Lakers, I think it will be an active market and LeBron will leave. Do you?
That's a good question. I don't know. We saw last year in season some big money get moved around, Jimmy Butler especially, so it can be done. But we also saw how difficult it was to get there. And then I think ultimately ended up being a 5-team trade that landed Jimmy Butler in Golden State. So, and LeBron's on an even bigger number. So it's tough to make a trade for a player who makes $50+ million when we're in season. I'm also not sold that LeBron is going to want to uproot himself and his family and everything for a half-season run somewhere else. I don't know. Now I don't know that he's not open to that. We've never seen it happen, right? Nobody's ever been in a position to even consider trading LeBron James. Never mind, maybe actually getting to that point. So that we certainly could see that happen. But I think it's more likely if he's going to get traded, it's going to happen here in the next month or two before the season starts than it is, I think, in season. But you never know. I mean, this league never really disappoints with crazy madness out of nowhere.
What percentage would you put on him being dealt in the next month or two?
Pretty low. I would say probably 5-10%.
That new ownership group, that's not a way to make friends, is it?
Yeah, it's going to have to be him pushing for it. Because the Lakers, for all of the things that I like to pick on them about, they are very known as being a player-centric organization. They are very focused on taking care of players and making sure they do that. I mean, they gave Kobe Bryant a giant contract when they knew they didn't need to, and they knew it probably wouldn't be a very good idea for roster management, but they did it anyway because they were going to take care of him. So now we're in a spot with, this group of, all right, let's get this kind of sorted and figured out with LeBron, but I think it would have to be him doing it. The other thing to remember, he has a no-trade clause. So he's in a position where they're not going to up and trade him away to a rebuilding Brooklyn Nets team just because that's what's easiest. He would have to agree to go there. So this will be done with, my guessing is his urging and very much a lot of partnership between him and the Lakers.
Yeah. Speaking of the Lakers, they went out and brought in DeAndre Ayton yesterday. What do you make of that fit? It's been a weird start to his career for DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix, in Portland, now getting to L.A., and we know the Lakers, they needed a center really bad. Now they get DeAndre Ayton. How do you like that fit?
Yeah, I like it. It's, again, we just went over what's left for big men, and it's not great. They needed something. DeAndre Ayton, even when he is DeAndre Ayton and he's not real motivated and just kind of shows up sometimes doesn't, he still puts up productive nights more often than not. Defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired sometimes. But we've also seen when he had Chris Paul in his ear every single day with the Phoenix Suns, he was really, really good, and everybody was really excited about what DeAndre Ayton was that year with Chris Paul. So I think, you're going to have Luka and I think probably LeBron, in his ear every single day. Maybe they can get him motivated and we may see him play some of his better basketball. I have some doubts, and I think the Lakers, quite frankly, do too, with all the reporting of they're still looking for options at the center position. So I think they know, hey, we got to protect ourselves a little bit here because this guy has a tendency to just kind of disappear at moments.
But DeAndre Ayton, has he been a bust or not?
Considering the number one pick, yeah, probably. If you look at his numbers, they're really not that bad. I think the somewhat unfair part, because you could do this in almost every draft class, is Luka went a few picks later. So that's where it really kind of falls apart of, man, you could have just taken Luka. And Luka's former coach was the coach of the Suns at the time, wanted Luka, but they felt like they needed a center, and that's the direction they went. So, yeah, the bust tag can be sometimes an unfair one, but if, judging off of what we generally go, I'd say, yeah, that's probably where we're at.
And you've talked about it. You can drive yourself crazy comparing those drafts. You go back to the 2013 draft, and Cleveland takes Anthony Bennett. Just take Giannis and don't look back. But that's easy to do with hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the same as like chaining together transactions and the like. And what happens there is I can't believe we traded this guy who turned into this. And but was he going to turn into that when you had him? Was he, any chance he would be that then? Those are the things. Yeah, and in the draft process, it's a lot of context involved there too. Sometimes we know right away in the moment, oh boy, that was a mistake and we shouldn't have passed. Like I think, I go back to when I was a kid and everything I've read, a lot of people are like, yeah, I probably should have went with Michael Jordan number 2. No one really argues about Akeem Olajuwon going number 1, but everybody says, yeah, he probably should have went with MJ number 2. But, in the moment, Portland was, we need a big man. We already have Clyde Drexler, and who knew MJ was going to become what he became.
Yeah, and here we always go back to drafts and especially big players, and it's Hasheem Thabeet going 2 to the Grizzlies and James Harden going 3. But what people don't realize, okay, we all would like to have that mulligan, that redo, but if you have Harden, how do you know? How do you know in free agency and trades and movement like that, how do you know you land Tony Allen and Zach Randolph?
Yeah, exactly. Those are the things that get forgotten a little bit, right? And does the entire bent of the organization change if you go with another player or something like that? Like it's like that's what you got to be kind of careful of when you get too far down that rabbit hole. Those are the things that I say. Those make for fun topics of conversation in August and September. We're all waiting on basketball, but in reality, like you said, you can drive yourself crazy and twist yourself in knots going through all that.
Because most people, even to not have to go through Hasheem, we don't want to give back the core 4 in the fun years that Tony Allen and Zach Randolph provided for us.
Definitely not.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, Kareem was my all-time favorite player until Zebo hit town, and Zach Randolph's now my all-time favorite player.
Yeah, and that's really as it should be, right? Like, I mean, he was just so special, and and there's no guarantee it's better the other way either, right? That's the other thing I always like to say is like, all right, the guy ended up better, but did he end up better because of where he landed, who he played with, what the timing was, and all that stuff?
And Keith, Bryant and I were talking last week. One of the dog days of summer hot radio topics now seems to be, we've kind of everybody's kind of got all they can get out of Mount Rushmore and things like that, even though ESPN's doing that on that 50-state series. Mm-hmm. Now you hear a lot of what ifs, and I'm sorry to bring it up, but I said to Bryant, there's no what if in all of sport, college, pro, you pick the sport out, football, basketball, baseball, there's none bigger than the one in Boston for Len Bias. None.
Yeah, that was I was a little guy then, and I remember being real. I loved the Larry Bird Celtics. That's the team I grew up on. It will always be my favorite. Basketball outside of the original Dream Team because that's just for me. That was so mind blowing that we saw that. But I remember getting all excited that we finally had a guy who was going to run and jump and dunk and do all the cool stuff with basketball, right? Like, yeah. And we still have all of our other guys. And I firmly believe if Len Bias had lived and made it to Boston, Larry Bird probably plays another 3-4 years because he would have felt more comfortable of, all right, maybe I should just get the back surgery, right? Or I can sit out when I need to, and I don't have to play through things because we have this guy, Kevin McHale, who wrecked his foot playing, might have lasted a little bit longer, if they had Len Bias. And I think the then really unfortunate double dip with Reggie Lewis passing away less than a decade or so later. That was just, absolutely brutal as well of, how does this happen? Twice to one city with, Reggie Lewis at that point, it was, he had taken the mantle over from Bird and he was the guy there. And it for those two things to hit home around, I wrote about this back in the day for Celtics blog, hit home around, those two things around Drazen Petrovic also passing away, who I had fallen in love with as a player just because he was so fun and he was so brash and audacious. And it was this guy from overseas that was like a guard and not just this hulking big man. And to lose those three guys in less than a decade was absolutely crushing and really, brought home, at a fairly young age for me, how frail all of this is.
I'm looking at the Celtics 86-87 roster that Len Bias would have been a rookie on. Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Rick Carlisle, Dennis Johnson, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish.
Yeah.
Great Scott Andre Turner, a rookie from Memphis. Bill Walton at the end. Oh, yep. Gosh. What?
Yeah, it would have been outstanding. Yeah, that team would have been, great. As it stood, the '86 team was the last team to win until Kevin Garnett showed up, and it was a long time in between those championships, and it definitely would not have been that long of a time. And I don't know if you guys have had a chance, maybe when it's summertime and things are slowed down. The Celtic City documentary that they did on HBO is so good. It does not steer away at all from Boston's problems with race and things there. They get very deep into that. They talk with players and fans and media members, and they very unvarnished. They don't hold back that it was was and continues to be a problem in the city. But they also get into the details of, hey, what would it have meant to have these guys and to hear the people who were there at the time talk about those things. I think it really, for people who've only heard, people like us, kind of say, man, it could have been. You watch that. It's just so well done how they get into it. And you can really see how Red Auerbach schemed for 2 years to be in place to draft Len Bias and then to just have it all taken away, after one night of partying. It just, it really, they covered it so well in that documentary.
I've heard that. I haven't seen it, but I heard how good it is. And the irony is so raw with Boston being the trailblazing place with Bill Russell, but yet so problematical with tensions and fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Bill Russell, there's some quotes from him, too, where he talks about, I loved being a Celtic, but I didn't love Boston, at times. And it took a, number of years, I think, before he and the city got to a good place again. And I'm forever thankful that it got to a place where he felt good about returning before he passed, because that was something that is really special that they got to have him there. And there's some stuff in there with him and Kevin Garnett that, I mean, it's just absolute gold. It's obviously it was made for me, right?
Yeah.
But it's if you love basketball and the history of basketball and even the history of one of the major cities in the country through the lens of basketball, it's absolutely riveting stuff.
What was the tougher place, Fenway or the Garden, along the racial aspect?
That's tough. I don't know. There were a lot of years with the Red Sox where I think it was just kind of like, this is not going to go well, and they didn't have any expectations of it going well, at least, for a lot of my time.
I think Jim Rice would say I had it tougher than Bill Russell did.
Yeah, I think he probably would. And then I think Bill Russell would say, nobody broke into your house, at least that we know about, and trashed it because, you were a black man daring to play basketball in the city. Like that was, they get into that story in that documentary. So that's a tough one. But yeah, I mean, I did appreciate that they didn't gloss over it. Mm-hmm. It was not just something they touched on for 2 minutes in one episode and said, yeah, there were some problems. And then, and then they won championships and everyone was friends. Mm-hmm. Like they really did go deep into it. And it's really a theme that runs throughout the entire series. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. I've definitely heard good things about it. I got to watch that documentary. Keith, as always, thanks so much for joining us. It's been such a wild week. We didn't even have time to get into what happened in Milwaukee earlier this week. We'll have to get to that next week because that was wild. What was that, Tuesday, I guess, when that went down. We'll talk about that. I'm sure a lot more to talk about next week when we talk to you again. Enjoy the weekend. Happy 4th of July, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
The good news, Brian, is we'll actually know how this stuff has happened.
That's right.
By the time we get there right now, so we'll have a better idea. But thank you guys for having me. I wish all of you a happy and safe 4th of July.
So kind.
Right,
thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Keith Smith joining us every single week from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. And yeah, I'm going to have to check out the documentary. I've heard really good things about it.
Spellbinding.
Yeah, I've heard great
really
things.
Good.
I've heard great things. So I'll definitely, maybe this weekend, I'll check that out and I can tell y'all what I think of it when we talk again. But before we get to a break, let me remind you, the long weekend is here for a lot of people with the 4th of July. Make your way down to Olive Branch this weekend and check out Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for some of the biggest brands in Western wear. Check out their world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango, just to name a few. Frontier Western Store, it's also the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you might be looking for, they've got it at Frontier Western. But if you are in the market for jeans, got to to stop by Frontier Western and see all of the jeans they have in stock. They've got all the brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect style and size for you. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Head down there and check out Frontier Western Store. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk some college football. We'll take a look of how Brett has adjusted his all-time team list. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Ribs.
Toes. Well, what are we playing?
I want to do a Central Barbecue spot about their fantastic ribs.
Should be easy enough. Central Barbecue has got amazing ribs.
I know that. You know that. The people probably know that. But I want to do them justice.
Well, they're slow smoked for 24 hours over hickory and pecan to give them amazing flavor.
And Central Barbecue never has sauce in the pit.
Now, I don't know what that means, but it seems impressive.
It is. I just want to make them sound perfect.
We mentioned that they're slow smoked, delicious, and we've said Central Barbecue at least 3 times. I say we call it a solid 30 seconds.
Job well done. Central Barbecue. Ribs.
Not toes.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects call 662-913-7883 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year. K4 SE 137 210, MSRP 24,340, K5 S5 36,6209, MSRP 29,170, Sportage SG 271 1755, MSRP 34,115, Telluride SG 66 2001, MSRP 41,060. Must finance through KFA, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 07/2/25.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear the Gossett Kia Summer Sticker Sales event is on now at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
It sure is, Randy, and listen to this. I've got a 2025 Kia K4 LXS at $150 a month. That's $5 a day for a new ride. 2025 Kia K5 LXS, $265 a month. 2025 Kia Sportage X-Line, $275 a month. Plus 2025 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $359 per month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease.
Plus a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and the all-new 2026 EV9 with 72 months at 3.49 available.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A bit more traffic volume in the last 10-15 minutes as we check it out live again on 240 eastbound from Mill Branch here all the way out to 385 as you get on to Bill Morris Parkway. Cranking it pretty good, but it's moving out towards Collierville. Radar, well, you're going to see a lot more of that. It's already out here over the next 48 hours. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them. Come on, you'll save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Got to talk some college football, but Brett informed me today that he has updated his all-time college football rankings, so I'm excited to hear the changes.
I'm seeing a lot of lists go around. I've always kept this for college football and college basketball, and I used 1972 when I first started doing this because that was real integration at just about everywhere. Some we're still way too slow, but mostly integration and freshman eligibility. Well, everybody's used to freshman eligibility now, and we know what the impact of integration has done on all of sports, all of society. So I decided I wanted to move it a little more. So I went 50 years out. So I cut out 72. We used to go back to 72. So it's cut out 72, 73, and 74. in college football, that cuts out national champion USC in 72, Notre Dame in a classic in the Sugar Bowl New Year's Eve, 1973 against Alabama, 24-23 at Old Tulane Stadium, and Oklahoma in 74. That doesn't hurt these profiles that much, just knocking out one. In college basketball, you knock out 72, 73, 74, and that's waylaying UCLA.
Yeah, that does a lot for UCLA.
Well, that leaves them with one.
Holy cow.
Well, two,
cow.
75 and 95.
Wow.
Wooden's last year, and the only one they've won since then. But for football, here we go. Tell me where y'all think I'm wrong. I want your input. Number 1, Alabama. 2, USC. 3, Nebraska. 4, Miami. I had my own questions about that. They might be higher. 5, Oklahoma. 6, Ohio State. 7, Penn State. 8, Florida. 9, Florida State. 10, LSU. 11, Clemson. 12, Georgia. 13, Notre Dame.
Wow.
14, Michigan. 15, Texas. 16, Tennessee. 17, Auburn. 18, BYU. 19, Washington. And 20, Colorado. You get down to kind of Auburn, BYU, Washington, Colorado, you just fill it in.
Sure, yeah.
You might be right. Probably wrong.
Filling out the top 25.
Colorado at 20, they really had the Bill McCartney years, and now Prime's only had one good year.
Yeah, he hadn't done enough, at least, I think.
Notables, in my opinion, omitted. UCLA, Georgia Tech, Oregon, Pitt, Wisconsin, A&M, West Virginia. Next year, when I move it to 76, that's going to be the end of the run for Pitt. Winning it with
definitely.
Johnny Majors. And it was inspired by this tweet I saw earlier today of the teams with the most wins that's never won a national championship in college football history.
Yeah.
All the way back to the beginning. So that is West Virginia, number 1.
Wow.
I had them as notables omitted.
You did.
They've won 789 games, never won a national championship. They're 15th winningest team ever. Virginia Tech, second most wins, 18th most all-time, 779. Wisconsin, 3, 747. Miami of Ohio. I don't think anybody clamoring for Miami over
Love
there.
that.
5, Utah, 6, Mizzou, 7, Oregon. Oregon is that team waiting to crack through. And it's not just national champions to get in the top 20, but that doesn't hurt.
Sure, no.
Heisman profile, they've got that. Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
They're really close.
Oh, yeah.
If they won it this year, they could leapfrog a bunch of teams.
Definitely could.
They could go ahead of Auburn, BYU, Washington, and Colorado.
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked.
If I'm right.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and
where am I wrong? I want to know.
No, I really like yours. Do you have, or do you recall how much? Because you said it didn't really change their profile. Do you know where you moved them in terms of?
Notre Dame got crushed.
Yeah. No, I could tell because I couldn't remember exaccally where they were. But you saying them at 13.
That leaves them with just 2, 77 and 88. Neither one of those are a week and a half ago, are they?
No, certainly not.
I mean, in front of them, you've got Georgia with the 1 under Dooley and the 2 under Kirby with 3 beats 2 in national championships.
Sure.
Heisman winners, Notre Dame in that time has had 1 since 75. Tim Brown.
Yeah.
Georgia's had 1. Both have won a lot, been to a lot of bowls.
Absolutely.
Georgia more bowl success, though. Clemson, you had the Danny Ford National Championship and the 2 with Dabo.
Yeah.
LSU, the 1 with Nick Saban, the 1 with Les Miles, the 1 we had Orgeron. That's 3. Florida State with the 1 of the 2 of Bobby Bowden and the 1 for Jimbo. So, do you think they are indeed all ahead of Notre Dame?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean,
and then you get up at the top.
Sure.
You know Ohio State is.
I mean,
Oklahoma. It takes 1 away from them. Next year will be another one gone.
That's right.
That'll just leave 2.
And then that will maybe
85 and 2000.
Yeah. No, but I think you're right. We've kind of talked about it a lot, especially since those comments by LeBron James. What was it last week about kind of the ring culture? Certainly, we live in a ring culture, but certainly when you're doing the all-time teams list, I mean, that's the ultimate ring culture type of thing because, I mean, the national championships tell who are the best teams, and when you're trying to decide the best teams ever, those national championships, they have to come into play.
But in this time period, since 1975, I don't have Pitt in there, and they did win it all.
Sure.
And that'd be their most notable thing.
I was about to say, I mean, since then, though, it's been
Georgia Tech with the split in the early 90s, but a lot of lean years.
Yeah, that's right. And
no Heisman's ever.
Yeah, you could say the same thing with Pitt and Georgia Tech. It's been a lot of kind of lean
UCLA,
years.
good teams, but no national championships. No Heisman's in that period, way back with Gary Beeman.
Sure. Yeah.
A&M. Always,
Well,
always on the list.
Heck, if we were doing a list for best preseason team, then I mean Texas A&M would be number one.
Run away with it.
Oh man,
UCLA just gets crushed in basketball.
Have you already? You've already adjusted? Okay, I want to hear it.
Now?
Yeah, please.
Duke 1,
okay.
North Carolina 2, UConn 3, Kentucky 4, Kansas 5.
Yep.
UCLA 6.
Wow.
That may still be too nice to them.
Yeah, it really might be.
7, Indiana. 8,
it
Florida.
Could be too nice to them.
8, Florida.
Yeah.
They just got their third.
That's exactly right.
Florida football and basketball. I didn't look and see who else is that.
Yeah.
I will, though. 9, Louisville. 10, Villanova. 11, Michigan State. 12, Syracuse. 13, Arizona. 14, NC State. 15, Arkansas. 16, Michigan. 17, UNLV. 18, Maryland. 19, Georgetown. 20, Virginia. Notables omitted. I had Marquette, Ohio State, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati, Memphis, LSU, Notre Dame, Texas, Houston.
West Virginia, in the notable omitted for both football and basketball.
Houston in basketball, if they ever do it, they jump a bunch of people.
They skyrocket. It's just got to get it done. You got to go out there and win it all. And
they are the best team to ever win a major in college basketball.
They definitely are. They definitely are. And it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down this year or really anytime soon.
Yeah. They've earned it, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Aren't they Miami? We've talked about that.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, to do what they've done and to win the national championships with different head coaches, I mean, that's hard to do for anybody. Yeah, I mean,
Florida just got it with 2.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's hard. We always talk about that transition from one great coach to the next, and how are you going to be able to do that? Well, UConn's done it multiple times and have shown that they can do it. So yeah, no, UConn definitely needs to be high up on any
Duke's
list.
just done it with 1, just 1. Yes, you agree.
That's right.
The winningest.
Yeah, so
North Carolina with 2. Dean Smith and Roy.
I like that list a lot. I like both the lists. But going back to what you were saying about Oregon, I mean, they are the team that set up, I mean, perfectly, and we talked about it all the time.
That money, in basketball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that money that's coming in from the Nike money, I mean, it's all they're doing is trying to pump that money into winning a national championship.
To not have had the brass ring.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I don't know. I don't know if this year is going to be that year in football. I don't think it's going to be it in basketball. But
so Florida, the only one in both lists.
Is that right?
Oh, Michigan. Here's Michigan.
Okay, Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan. 14 football, 16 basketball.
In the same neighborhood in both of them.
A good one.
It's a really good one. It's a really good one. Wow.
Michigan might be ahead of Notre Dame in football. I got them one slot behind.
They definitely could be. That's a good question. I'm going to leave it to you. It's your list.
And both have great fight songs.
Both do have really good fight songs.
Great fans.
Speaking of fight songs, we're inching closer to Fight Song Friday.
You know what we start with?
Memphis, right? Or no, because it'll be week 0, right? We'll start in week 0.
Well, I thought last year we started with the defending national champ.
That's exactly what we did. That's right.
So Ohio State gets it that week, don't
they?
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
We can do a couple. We don't have to do just one. We can do Memphis, Ohio State, Texas.
I think 2 years ago we might have started the year with Memphis.
I think we did. And then we just last year we started with Michigan because they won it the year before.
Yeah. I like that. I like doing the
we can do them all.
Sure. Just every region will have a fight song. No, I don't want to put that on anybody.
That's a lot on in there.
It almost feels like a Fight Song Friday with Connor in here.
And it's not Friday.
It's not. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, but it certainly feels like a Friday. That's a good list. That is a really
I
good
work
list.
on that list too.
Someone texted in and said Memphis basketball or Michigan basketball over Memphis basketball. Oh.
I don't see how.
Yeah, I mean, Fab Five and
won it once and ended a couple other times.
Yeah, I mean it's a rich history. Period. It's a very rich history for Michigan basketball. But Memphis right outside. I mean, get things moving.
All right. Let's compare the Memphis profile to those in the latter part of the teens, 16, 17, 18, 19. We just mentioned Michigan.
Yeah.
UNLV. the one title, the good Tark teams.
We're starting.
Not
to
a
get away
lot
from it.
since.
Yeah, we're starting to get. We're getting well away from that.
Maryland, the Gary Williams title, good teams. Talked about Lynn Bias a lot.
Sure. Yeah.
Good.
Turn the Lynn Bias show almost.
But the Gary Williams team that won it all, 2002.
Ooh, yeah, time's marching
Juan
on.
Dixon,
Yeah.
MOP.
Yeah.
Georgetown.
Whew. I mean, just
Next spring, 42 tournaments ago when they won their only one.
jeez. Yeah. I mean, Georgetown is the ultimate of
JT3 went to a Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
Had
mean,
good
just
teams.
That program and how big of a program it is, but just the lack.
But they
of
won it
success.
all.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, if you have kind of similar profiles in winning it all,
Oh yeah,
the tipping
Yeah,
point,
definitely.
shouldn't it be?
Yeah, absolutely, especially in an all-time list. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Houston, go win one next spring and be way up there.
I love it. Then we had that conversation last year when Florida won it of okay, where do we put them now? I'd love to have that conversation about Houston because that would be a really fun one. You get that one and see where you can vault up to. But that's fun. I like the update to your list.
Tigers having not gone to the Sweet 16 in next spring, 17 years. That's not a resume builder.
17 years. Holy cow. That is a long time. But let's go ahead and get to another break. And when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Marshall Steakhouse is a feast for the eyes as well as the body. Enjoy all American USDA prime steaks, aged 30 days or more, and other delicious meats inside. Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs, named the #1 steakhouse in Mississippi by the Food Network, and named in the top 2 most legendary steakhouses in the South by Southern Living Magazine. Make reservations today and get free bread pudding by calling 662-252-2424 or online at marshallsteakhouse.com. Marshall Steakhouse in Holly Springs, a Southern treat.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
It's time to turn corners and turn heads in your new Gossett Kia from Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Discover peace of mind in your new Kia with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. How about $5 a day in 2025 Kia K4 LXS, $150 a month. 2025 Kia K5 LXS Week Gossett, $265 a month. 2025 Sportage, $275 a month. And 2025 Kia Telluride S, $359 a month. We Gossett covered for every family and every budget at Gossett Kia on the Pike. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Ask for Bobby J. He's waiting to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee 20,000 miles per year. K4 SE 137 210, MSRP 24,340, K5 S 536 6209, MSRP 29,170, Sportage SG 271 1755, MSRP 34,115, Telluride SG 66 2001, MSRP 41,060. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 07/2/25.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number of the day is the number 50. It has to do with Ronald Acuna Jr. and him being named a starter to the All-Star game. Ronald Acuna Jr. made his season debut in the Braves' 50th game of the season. Now he is slated to start the All-Star game. The only other player in MLB history to start the All-Star game despite not making his season debut until the team's 50th game or later was Joe DiMaggio in 1949. So, guess a weird club to be in, but a good club to be in, I guess, if it's Ronald Acuna and Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, a better club to be in with Joe DiMaggio is having been married to Marilyn Monroe.
Well, that'd be a good club, I guess.
That's a great club for sure. My big number is number 6, and this is from Phil Steele. Thank you, Brian. This information,
it's incredible.
I mean, treasure trove. And the number 6 is under Ryan Silverfield. The Tigers are 6-2 at home as a home dog.
Oh, wow.
I think they will be a home dog against Arkansas.
I think so.
Tell me how Arkansas starts.
Sure.
Tell me how the Arkansas State game goes.
Yeah.
Tell me how Ole Miss goes. But I think 1 or 2 3-point underdog there.
Sure.
As a home favorite, 9-16-1. And I think a lot of that is being heavily favored over AAC teams and winning a lot of games, but not covering those
That's a good
huge
point. Yeah.
lines.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of those instances where it's just a really big number. And, that team, I mean, heck, what was the game last year maybe against Charlotte where, Memphis was in complete control, and then down the stretch, Charlotte scores like 2 touchdowns late and ends up...
The anatomy of a bad beat.
It's exactly right. It happens a lot. So that does not surprise me. That's a good number.
6-2
It's really good.
Home dog.
It's really impressive for Ryan Silverfield and his team. I would love to know those 8 games he was underdog at home in.
I don't have that.
Yeah, no.
I bet Phil Steele does.
I'm sure I could find it somewhere of kind of those instances, but maybe I'll do that during our next break and try to see if I can figure that out. But I can't really think of many. I mean, the Mississippi State game was, I guess Silverfield was here during that, so they would be underdogs in that one.
Zany punt with Calvin Austin.
Yeah, so I had, underdog in that game. That's got to be one of them. So I don't know. I'll look that up. I'll do that during the break and figure out those underdogs. But no, I mean, Ryan Silverfield and Mike Norvell and Justin Fuente, they have turned, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium into a tough place to play for anybody, and that's a really good record for Ryan Silverfield in those underdogs. Getting his guys up, ready to go, and being able to win a lot of those games.
Yeah, I'm not many times, just 8 to be the home dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean that's good stuff to have that type of record though against it. So we'll see. Like you said, how many games?
Probably a Central Florida in there.
No, definitely. You definitely.
And I wonder if that 6-2 is just regular season, or does that encompass both Liberty Bowls?
That's a good question. I would assume probably just home games, but
just regular season games.
That's what I would assume. Regular season home games, but
plus 3 against State.
Yeah.
131-29.
Yeah. So I knew that had to be one, but I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to get a list of those games for sure.
In 2020, plus 5 against Houston, 130-27.
UCF, Houston in there, maybe a Cincinnati game too. Those teams that left for the Big 12, I could see that. That doesn't surprise me. And then maybe a year where Temple was hot. They had a couple of those seasons where they were really good. I could see a couple conference games in there. Where Tigers, but not many. I mean, very rare Tigers are underdogs.
SMU 2021 plus 5, 128-25.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I can see that. A lot of teams that have left the American when you start thinking about it. But that's a really good number, and we'll see this year because there's a couple games in there just depending on how they do. And I mean, that last game against Navy, depending on how both those teams are going, I think a lot of people are very high on Navy this year. That could be a team that Memphis, or a game that Memphis is an underdog at home. But definitely some good stuff there for Big Number. Also, I got to give a shout out to Mr. 3000 for I know we talked about it already, but Clayton Kershaw and getting that 3,000 career strikeout last night. No,
for him.
No, definitely
He's
not.
got to be at the end.
Yeah, he's definitely getting close to the end, but good to see him, get cross that finish line, getting to 3,000, joining that really exclusive club, not just of active players, only the third active player, but only the 20th all time. That is incredible, and we talked about it earlier. When's the next time, if ever, that we see that again of somebody that gets to 3,000 career strikeouts? It could be never. We might not ever see that again. But we need to wrap up this second hour. But before we do that, let me remind you that this weekend, maybe next week, with a lot of games on and baseball games and even Summer League getting started, maybe you want to go and see the future of the Grizzlies, catch those games on TV. A perfect place to go and do that is Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley, open 4 to 11 Wednesday through Fridays and 4 to 8 on Sundays. I know that nobody likes one of those loud, obnoxious bars, but that is the opposite of Bell Tavern. It's perfect bar for a night out with your friends or to catch a game. And it's it's one that you can enjoy a night at. Get one of their great cocktails in that quiet, dimly lit bar. And it's not just the drinks. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis. Pair one of their gourmet burgers with the coldest beer in the city for a perfect night out. For more information about our friends over at Bell Tavern, give them a call, 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. Well, let's get to another break and wrap up this hour. And when we return, we're going to talk a lot of Tigers. We were just talking about those home underdogs, how good Ryan Silverfield has been in that position since taking over with Tigers. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the new home and home that was announced earlier today with Vanderbilt. We'll get to all of that. Greg Gaston, he joins us next.
Sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos, and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99, and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
Hey, it's Rockin' Ronnie at Gossett Hyundai South on Mount Moriah with his brand spanking new dealership. What's up, dude?
Randy, not only do I have a great new dealership, we've got service available that is less wait time than anyone in town. 16 service bays and immediate appointments available. Plus a 2025 Hyundai Tucson SE, $288.75 per month and 3.99% available for 72 months. 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL, $349.89 per month and 3.99 up to 60 months available. And a 2024 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT all-wheel drive, $37,180. That's $5,000 off MSRP.
Plus America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Hyundai South, 2660 Mount Moriah, or shop online anytime. HyundaiMountMoriah.com.
36 month lease, $10,000 per year, $39,900 due at signing. Santa Fe SH108 451, MSRP $38,730. Tucson SEO $11,938, MSRP $31,110. Cruise RH126 $339, MSRP $42,180. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF $895 excludes Mac on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through the end of the month. BS
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Midtown traffic trying to increase a little bit more in the last few minutes southbound on 240 as you work your way down past Norris now, headed south of Memphis. There's been radar down through there earlier as you come through South Haven into DeSoto County, even as far down as Tate County this afternoon. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them this summer. You'll save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Dacus.
Welcome back in to Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our family leisure studios.
All praise still to Phil Steele.
We love Phil Steele.
We do. But in the break, I was looking at every game.
Sure.
He's counting the loss in St. Louis to Mizzou, and it was technically the Memphis Tigers' home game. I don't count that.
It's supposed to be a home game. It's supposed to be a game at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
Would you throw that in? I don't.
No.
So the record's even better.
Yeah, that's right. So, that's interesting. But I guess now we've got a little more clarity on the answer of what all those games look like. But speaking of Tigers, we got to talk Tigers. We do it every single Thursday, and we do it now with Greg Gaston.
From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now like he does every Thursday to talk Tigers. Make sure you're listening to him each and every morning from 7 to 10 with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to, but Brett was mentioning in our last segment about Ryan Silverfield and how good he has been at home as an underdog against the spread, 6-2. Now we're finding out that one of the games counted was the Missouri neutral site game in St. Louis, but Ryan Silverfield has shown each and every year that his teams are ready to go, and especially at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, it has become a tough place to play for opposing teams.
It really has been a tough place to play. And good afternoon, gentlemen. Happy 4th to you. But I didn't know that was the record. And I did hear you guys talking about the game in St. Louis, and I would agree with you that even though technically it's a Memphis home game and they moved it, it's not a home game. Come on. I was on the sideline in the Dome. I know that I wasn't sitting there at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium or at least standing there. So, yeah, that was certainly not a home game. But, yeah, Memphis has made look, sometimes the crowd factors in. A lot of times it doesn't. So they have to create their own atmosphere, and I think they really do a good job in protecting that home turf.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do, and we'll see. Brett and I were talking about maybe this Arkansas game, depending on how both teams start,
might be the dog in that.
Could be a dog in that one at home, but you're seeing maybe at the end of the season, Navy, if they are hot this year after what they did, Tulane. There's a couple of instances where this upcoming season they could be the underdog at home, and we'll see how they respond. But we're getting closer to the season, and we know a lot of questions with the team with a lot of new, but we feel pretty certain about the quarterback room with Brendan Lewis will likely be the starter. What are your big questions for the Tigers as we start to get into July?
Well, just questions for me would be familiarity with the players, and will they find that chemistry? Have they found that chemistry? in the offseason, who will step up in the wide receiver room. Klus is back, but most of those guys are going to be new faces, new names to everybody. Certainly, Lewis is a proven guy. He's been there. He's started a lot of games at quarterback. It's going to be a different-looking offense with more RPO, with his ability to run. So I would think that, from a receiver standpoint, there's certainly some names that you're not going to be familiar with. There's some new faces on defense. The thing is, I'm really excited about this season because I think there's some people, not Phil Steele, but there's some people that are doubting the Tigers. And I'm not so sure if it's doubting the Tigers or they just look at a couple of the other teams in the American and maybe have a little bit more confidence in a Tulane or a UTSA or an Army, whatever the case, Navy with their quarterback back. But I think they're selling Memphis a little short because the Hennigan factor. You lose a 4-year quarterback, and so people think, okay, they're going to have to rebuild or you find it. No, they're not doing that. They have a lot of talent that they brought in from other places through the portal that I think is going to really explode on the scene early and often for this team. You're going to find these new names, and they're going to become household names for you very quickly. I think Lewis is capable of leading the way. So I don't have a lot of question marks about this team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, they're running away with winning the American. I haven't made predictions yet, and I got to go through all that. But I do know that they play the tougher teams, at least on paper, at home. They get Arkansas at home, as you guys mentioned, non-conference. I think that there's a chance it could be a really special season, although people are, I think, underplaying their value because of so much that they lost from the team last year.
And Greg, you clearly stated you don't think it's any disrespect or anything. Here's one of the things I think is playing in to show me again, prove it again, Memphis, is just simple gravity. I think people are thinking, and some of this Ole Miss gets, Memphis can't stay there forever. Just at some point, there's got to be a little receding, and they've shown no signs of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's the natural thought of that, but if you're going to lead the way in NIL money, in revenue share, if you're going to be at the top of the heap in the conference, and there's going to be a lot of money put in, obviously, to the football program, then why not? Why can't you keep that stature of being right there? And
they've kept it in recruiting.
They've kept it in recruiting, Brett, and also remember that there is still – look, they have not got to that championship game. There's still that brass ring that they're trying to grab. So it's not like they've won like 3 straight championships in the American Conference, and they got to the – they got a ways to go to get that final – and if you get there, who knows? You would obviously have a great chance to be the Group of 5 representative. There's no guarantee with Boise in the Mountain West, and who knows who else may be in the mix. The point is, though, they haven't gotten there yet. So they have put together great seasons. They've won a lot of games. They've dominated in bowls. They've beaten Power 5 schools. But that's the incentive they need because they haven't been able to check that off the list yet.
And we talk about it on every weekend now with the playoffs. You're scoreboard watching more now than ever. And you're not watching the scoreboard, you're watching your phone. I mean, there's no more the public address announcer. Scores from around the country when they used to would crack the mic open. There's none of that. Everybody's keeping up with everything on their phone, but we're keeping up with it. And Phil Steele, another mention, he really likes Boise, Toledo, and Memphis. Well, with Toledo, that means opening day, Memphis Tiger football fans be pulling hard for Kentucky to splatter Toledo. Because I don't think if Toledo got splattered on opening day, I don't care what they do in the MAC the rest of the way or what night of the week they play on, they're not ahead of anybody.
Holy Toledo. I had no idea about Toledo. But, yeah, I think Toledo is, a team from the MAC getting this kind of attention. They get splattered. Yeah, I think you pretty much – yeah, you pretty much take them out of the mix. Now, some people might say, well, how about if Memphis got splattered by Arkansas? Then all of a sudden, there's nobody looking at Memphis to be that team. I don't think, one, that's going to happen because Memphis has proven year in and year out when they play teams from the SEC and play teams from the Power 5, they've held their own. They don't win them all, but they've won their fair share. So I don't see that happening. Now, I probably shouldn't talk poorly about Toledo because I have no idea. I couldn't name you one player on that team. So maybe it's something really, really good with transfer portal and the acquisitions, and who knows how much money they're spending out in NIL. But I don't see Memphis having that issue. Could Kentucky certainly roll them out? Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's going to happen with Arkansas. Arkansas is a good team. They obviously have a lot of talent. They obviously have a lot of money they put into that program.
Good quarterback.
Good quarterback in Taylor Green. I love Sam Pittman. I mean, I don't think anybody will say anything negative except maybe Arkansas fans if they don't win enough games. But as far as an individual, the guy is great. He's been on my show a couple of times. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Memphis at home against Arkansas, even with a new quarterback, even with a lot of new faces, can't win that game. I would be shocked if they got rolled out of their own stadium. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, they play they open against Alabama A&M, then Arkansas State in Little Rock, then a trip to Oxford, then a trip to Memphis that will be very anticipated in this area. Another game opening weekend that involves the Memphis Tigers when you don't think it does. Pull like heck for South Florida, some AAC pride, at home against Boise.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't know. I haven't really studied the schedule from other teams yet. That is fantastic.
Greg, it's July 3rd. What are you waiting on?
I'm about to take my vacation and then go get in a high gear, my friend. I'm going to get in a high gear. But right now it's like, oh, okay, there's going to be a lot of football coming up. But, yeah, Boise State and South Florida, oh, my gosh, that could be a lot
South
of fun.
Florida. That helps every way you can hit.
Hey, look. Ashton Genty ain't walking through that door.
No, he's not.
He's gone. They got good players. That guy was special. When you're picked as high as you are, that's a special player.
Greg, unashamedly, I voted for him for the Heisman. I voted for him over Travis Honor.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the way you feel. I mean, the guy put up some incredible numbers. Now, with South Florida, that is a team that people expect to see vast improvements. They have Alex Golish running the show for, year 2 or 3. But they expect them to turn around and start really making vast improvement because they have, I think, look, they're going to build on their facilities. They're going to make them better. That's the promise. They're going to put money into that program. And they should, Brett, because this was a program that years ago under Jim Leavitt, and it wasn't long, I guess they were in FBS.
They were going to be the fourth Florida superpower over UCF.
Yes, they were going to make that impact, and they did some really good things. And then Leavitt's gone, and they seem to just kind of fall to the wayside. Like nothing really was happening. They'll occasionally have a really good player, but as far as a really, really good team, no. UCF had that run when they had the undefeated. We're really the national champions. That whole thing. Yeah, but people have been waiting for South Florida. I think it's a team that you're going to see a lot of improvement this year, and I think you're going to see improvement for years to come. I think that's one that is going to be real interesting in the coming years as a challenger to Memphis, Tulane. I think UTSA can stay consistent.
The league
Army,
needs
Navy. The league, the conference is pretty good in football. There are enough teams that have more than a pulse to make it an interesting conference, which we cannot say the same thing about in basketball.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right.
I mean, it's not even close. Basketball is, Eddie and the Cruisers, or take any musical group, that and those. That's what it is. Cool and the Gang. It's Memphis is cool, and then there's the Gang. But in football, that's not the case.
Which Cool and the Gang sure beats England Dan and John Ford Coley.
You leave England Dan alone now.
Well, Greg, speaking of basketball, a lot of Tiger basketball news coming out over the last couple of days. The news today that Memphis will add Vanderbilt to a home-and-home, with it getting started this year at FedEx Forum on December 17th. Obviously, it wasn't long ago that Memphis and Vanderbilt had a home-and-home, with the last game being in 2023. We know what Vanderbilt was able to do last year in the first year of Mark Byington. What do you make of this home-and-home series?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Unanimous.
It's simple, right? 3 hours separate the two schools. Memphis has been trying to add some names, and while Vanderbilt is not the power of powers in the SEC, they certainly are a team that's capable. I think that coach is really good, and unfortunately, it didn't work out with Stackhouse. But we have seen Vanderbilt in different years, different decades. They'll put a team together that makes a great run. They'll produce players that go to the NBA. I love it. In-state battle, private school, public school. I understand all that, but look, this is Penny's hard work in trying to fill that schedule the best he can. We've talked about it before. Penny is trying to play the best he can play, anytime, anywhere, and unfortunately, it takes two to tango. So some of the teams that he's tried to get, those overtures have fallen on deaf ears. But I knew that with the schedule to this point, before that news came out today, it was lacking. And the home schedule especially was lacking. So they had to do something. Now, I'm not saying that Vanderbilt, you're getting 17,000 for the Vanderbilt game, but you're going to get a good crowd. It's going to be a fun game because anytime you play an SEC opponent, no matter who it is, from Missouri to Ole Miss to Alabama to Mississippi State to Arkansas, there's still something about that. So they get a good home opponent. They got two more they have to fill. I'm almost positive that one of them is going to be a name. Whether or not the two are both home, I don't know. At least one will be a home game, and I think it's going to be a name. And then you're going to have those exhibition games. Look, it looks like Arkansas will be one once they figure out all the particulars and appease John Calipari. The other one, I would imagine, will be another name because I think once Penny got a taste of that, realizing that we can really have two practice games, if you will, dress rehearsals against big-time opponents, that will let us know where we stand. And both the past years, they got off the great starts. Now, a couple of years ago went kaput, but both those years, they got off the great starts. And I think playing those type of teams helps. So it looks like Arkansas, it won't be a part of the ticket package, I don't believe, because it'll be a separate thing for St. Jude, not official yet. The other one, I'm not sure who, and I'm not sure where, but I think it'll be a big opponent. I expect another big opponent for the regular season at home. And then the other game, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a decent name or a bye game. If it's a bye game, obviously at home. I would think it would be at home, but again, I'm just not sure. I haven't really heard the rumors as far as that is concerned. But we're probably going to get that news relatively soon since we're already in July.
Since you eliminated who and where, let me ask you this. What conference?
I don't know for sure. It could be a Big 10 team. It could be a Big 12 team. I don't think it's the SEC because again, with this deal with Vanderbilt, with Ole Miss, with Mississippi State, I know Missouri's been talked about coming back and playing that series. I don't know if they've reached a deal with them for the future, but I think they've talked to them. I think that. Who else did I have in my mind? Obviously, Arkansas, it looks like it'll be an exhibition game, preseason game, if you will. So I don't think it's coming from the SEC. I don't know who else would be available in that situation. I mean, Alabama is certainly one that could be, but I think it's going to be, it has to be, Brett. I mean, with that schedule right now, and again, this is of no fault of Penny Hardaway and that team and that administration trying to put together as healthy and as challenging and competitive a schedule as they can. What are you going to do? I mean, first of all, you're sharing the building, right? You're the tenant of the Grizzlies, and you have to deal with dates. You have to deal with dates of games, dates of concerts. Then you have to make sure that it's kosher with the team that you're trying to commit to with that series. You really have to have these home games. And the last one that was announced, what was the last one that was announced that ended up starting on the road? You guys remember?
I do, but I can't remember now who it was against.
Okay, the point
Utah
being
State.
is Utah State non-conference, but again on the road. So you had to fill these last few remaining open spots with home games. because all you have is UNLV and San Francisco. UNLV, of course, the return of Josh Pastner.
Yeah, got to sell some tickets.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, hopefully that'll sell some tickets. But you got to sell some tickets. You have to make some money, and you can't with a scarce schedule. You have a certain amount of dates that you're obligated for, or not dates, but games. The amount of games that you're obligated for. The thing is that I think that with UNLV, San Francisco, New Orleans, and who's the fourth? Who was the fourth, or was it just those three? Help me out, guys. Who did they have at home?
It was Southern Illinois, and
that's
then,
it. That's it.
Southern
That's the
Illinois
one.
the fourth one. Yeah.
So New Orleans, Southern Illinois, Southern Illinois. That's bye games.
Yeah.
So the other two games are San Francisco and UNLV.
That's right.
Sorry, that's not that appealing. But you bring in a Vanderbilt, an in-state rival of some sort. You get one more good name, hopefully a decent name with that other one. But again, I'm not 100% sure that one will be home. Who?
And you win.
And you win. Well, yeah, winning obviously. If you go down the tanker, then that's a whole different story. But I think it'll shape up to be a decent. The problem is, as you guys know, then you get the conference schedule, and like people are just not doing somersaults over going to see Rice in East Carolina.
No, but if you, and I know last year went counter to this, but you win and you win enough, maybe that creates like that Friday night closeout game against South Florida to close out winning a championship, and that was a pretty electric atmosphere.
Yeah,
it used to be automatic. It didn't matter who you were playing. If you had that team that could make an NCAA tournament run, then people were coming to the games. They were coming to the games. I think, sure, you can have a closeout game that could be electric, but can you get 8,000 and 9,000, let alone 12,000 for Rice and for those type of teams during the regular season? It's very hard. It has become a very hard thing to do in this day and age.
But across sports, we've changed a lot of our used-to-bes.
Yeah, no, we absolutely have.
No question.
Some of the old norms have changed. Greg, on the St. Jude game with Arkansas, where do you think it stands with the great people at St. Jude wanting to make that a MT, a multi-team event, and part of a schedule?
I hope it becomes a regular season event. I really do.
Two games, 2 nights, 3 other teams.
Exactly. The cause is great. Everybody knows that. To make these games actually count more than just a preseason tune-up, I think is fantastic. I think that is their goal. I've talked to people that are involved in this. But again, for this second year, still not official with Memphis and Arkansas, it's another step in the right direction, but it'll be a preseason game. But I think having a 2 days or 2 games in one day, an event, whatever they want to call it, but St. Jude Children's Research Hospital will be the beneficiary. I think that's fantastic. And I think they will eventually get that done.
Greg, when do you think we get an announcement? I was just trying to look and see when that was announced last year for the game against North Carolina. I found a tweet from...
It was later.
I just found Parthu Pajai broke the news that Memphis would host North Carolina on September 12th. I feel like you gotta get it out there a little earlier this year. Obviously, you have a little more built up with already 1 year under your belt. When do you think we get something official? Because it feels like we're all kind of talking about it. It feels like everyone thinks it's going to happen with Memphis and Arkansas. We're all kind of going, well, it hasn't been announced yet. If it happens, when do you think we get an official announcement?
Well, and to your point, that's what hurt last year because the announcement came so late.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically 1 month before the exhibition's taking place.
Exactly. They're trying to get this done like now, like really, really soon. But again, you heard probably the podcast that Cal was on with Penny Hardaway. He said, look, I want to do this, but I want my guys that played at Memphis honored. With Cal, look, Cal he cares about St. Jude. He cares about
he does
that kind of stuff. There's no question about it.
But he's high maintenance.
But he could, it's always still okay, I'll do this, but you got to do something for me. Even though doing something for him in this case is great.
It is, but you can't fly in 40 players and
Brett,
and put them up.
Who's paying for that? If St. Jude's paying for that,
it's never Cal.
The purpose.
He's never paying.
It defeats the purpose.
I mean,
that doesn't make sense.
We saw it here at the NCAA tournament game when he had the welcome back to town party that he had everybody else pay for.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I think you attended,
for
didn't
you? That's the problem right there. If it happened, I mean, if you could do it, it's really, really cool. Who wouldn't want to see 30, 40 former players that played under Cal at the University of Memphis? You celebrate them before the game. They sign autographs. You have the game.
I would love it, but I want the cash going to St. Jude.
Exactly. So I don't know, but with Cal, there's always like a little something extra. You do, okay, I'll do this, but you got to do this for me. So hopefully they can get that straightened out, get the details ironed out, and it'll be announced here very soon. But it really, it needs to be, guys, because you want to get that word out way in advance so people will buy their ticket.
Greg, we know one of the old sayings around anybody in sports is if it's take two, we always get four. For John, it's you can have two, he gets 10.
It's the way it's always been.
Yeah,
That's why I mean he's very successful, but he does really care
sure does.
About St. Jude and whether it be
LeBron
or
Street
Hospital.
Ministries and
and what
a lot
he deals
of things
with
around here. He does.
Yeah, and what he dealt with in Lexington and what he deals with in Fayetteville. I mean, he does care, but he's shrewd. He's a shrewd businessman.
Yes, he is. Well, Greg, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the 4th of July, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds great, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Greg.
Greg Gaston joining us to talk all things Tigers, and a lot to get to right now as we get closer to the football season, but also basketball making a ton of news with schedule, adding guys to the roster, everything. And
I'd like something from the Big Ten.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it's been a minute since you've kind of gotten that Big Ten flavor.
Give me Indiana.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. I'd definitely be for that. And I mean, you saw Michigan a couple years ago in MTE, but I mean, it's been a little bit since
seen Michigan State.
Sure, I mean,
a lot of places.
But
tournaments
sure,
last year in Maui.
Last year in Maui. So I mean, you've seen them kind of, but it hadn't been a set, home and home really.
Yeah, I don't want Rutgers.
No.
I want old Big Ten.
Yeah. I want one of those big names for sure.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. We kind of talked about that. What was it? They were in the bracketology we were looking at, and it had Memphis and Wisconsin playing each other. So yeah, that'd be cool. Something like that would be cool. I think we talked about it, earlier this offseason when we were starting to look at the non-conference schedule of, get something new. You've kind of seen a lot of these SEC teams recently, try to get out there and get a big opponent that's kind of newer that you can really sell. And one of those Big Ten teams would absolutely do that.
I know we've seen Vandy, but I like the proximity. I like the Vandy thing.
I love that. Yeah, and I hope they can expand on that and maybe build it into something. Well, we're about to get to another break, but before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor, Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Mid-South, if you're looking for a great deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat for the employee pricing plus sales event. 2025 Dodge Hornet GT. Buy it for $26,457 or $344.68 a month. That's over $5,000 off MSRP. 2025 Jeep Compass Latitude 4-wheel drive. Over $6,000 off MSRP at $23,541 or $297 a month. And 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 5-foot-7 box rear-wheel drive. Over $11,000 off MSRP at $36,869 or just $511.87 a month or 1.9 for 72's available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the bike or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motorcars.
GT S3A 46076 MSRP 31590, Compass ST 567703 MSRP 29765, Ram SN 728 346 MSRP 48260, includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title licensee dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar were recently voted the best breakfast restaurants in Memphis by a guy on the internet. This was a rave review. He rhapsodized about the signature square biscuits, the huge selection of delicious foods, the friendliness of the staff, and how fast and fresh his breakfast was at both Sunrise locations. It was the kind of unsolicited post that businesses love to see. Okay, it was written by me. I posted it. That doesn't make it any less true. You can't do better than Sunrise.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon now. There is some traffic flow coming out of Midtown in the last few minutes on 240 South at South Parkway. Normally be heavier than this, but it's building over here on 40 East at Sycamore View Road as you make your way out past Germantown Parkway out into Fayette County, where there's been troopers out all afternoon long down I-40 coming out of Shelby County into Fayette, so be careful. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them this summer and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. Got to talk about what's trending. A handful of things that are trending.
Rockies win.
That's what Connor was saying during the break.
Win number 20.
I had no idea.
On July 3rd.
How about that? That's good for them.
67 loss team that had 25,000 in attendance.
Wow,
that's pretty good.
That's really good. That is really good. I'll tell you, they're fun to watch. I mean, they are. They're a fun team to watch. Connor doesn't believe it. They're a fun team to watch.
Brian's tried
man,
he's tried to sell me that.
No, I enjoy watching them. I really do.
Your Cardinal free agent signed with the guy you were going to buy the jersey.
Barrero. No kidding. Where he signed?
I saw it yesterday.
No
Picked
kidding,
up
I missed it. I was trying to keep up with it.
So you can get the
Man.
jersey.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to depending on the team. Let's see where the Orioles.
Yeah.
Wow, I could get a O's. But it's a minor league deal.
Yeah, well,
that's too bad. Well, at least he'll get playing time. Can watch him out there.
And the Orioles work a lot of different uniforms.
They do. They got it going.
And I think they do it successfully. They work the different look a lot.
They do,
but well.
They do. No, they have a good uniform.
Oh, Brian,
combination.
last Friday night, and I think we talked about it before we left here, and it was goofy uniform night last Friday night. Yeah. So there's some of those teams I don't recognize who they are.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And when you're channel checking, even with the MLB package, I would say if you're doing that, you're a fan.
Sure, absolutely.
And when that fan, me, doesn't know who teams are,
no, it's not good. It's not good at all.
I think it was the Twins. If I would have never figured it out without the graphic.
Well, yeah, that happens sometimes.
Oh, was it those disgusting blue Twins jerseys?
It was. Yeah. Oh, those are nasty. There are some of the City Connect jerseys that I do enjoy.
I don't know that I enjoy. There's some that I don't mind over others.
Yeah.
All of it is unnecessary.
I agree with that.
It's all to separate you from your wallet, your money from your wallet in the team store.
That is true. Or
there's an easy way to rebuff that. Don't buy it.
No, that's exactly right. But last Friday you called it, or as we know it, when Luis Ortiz was betting on games, or people were betting on games with him alongside his. That pitch was bad. The one against Cardinals was really bad. Mariners was okay.
A big leaguer doesn't miss like that.
No. The Mariners, I watched it. I was like that's that's just a miss.
Don't want to be too hard because Brian, it's coming. To us in this area with somebody, SEC type, somebody out there,
something local
in college sports.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
it's unavoidable.
Yeah, I mean, if professionals are doing it, then
what's Ortiz make?
That's a great
I guarantee
question.
it's more than any NIL deal you can get out there in college sports.
Definitely. Let's see.
I mean, minimum salary is around $800, isn't it?
He is making.
We talked about.
How much is he making?
Beasley early in the week.
Well, and that's the thing is we've seen two pros just this week that are in gambling investigations,
and two of the three primary sports we talked about.
One that was going to, one was going to be making a huge salary this offseason in free agency. So, if those guys are doing it, then definitely a, college kid, it's not going to surprise me at all. And I think the way that Malik Beasley's situation is, at least how it's being reported, that's what's going to get somebody in college. Is, what's being reported is that, he had kind of a lot of arms out to a lot of people and a lot of things, and that he kind of let it get away from him, and he was kind of getting advances on his checks, and it's one of those things. You're telling me, one of these college athletes ain't gonna, it's, the first time you've seen that type of massive money as an athlete, and you say, hey man, let me give you some of this, let me give you some of this, let me do this, let me do that, and the next thing you know, you're
behind.
I'm behind, I'm in a bad spot. Hey, let me do this. So I think you're absolutely
as old
right.
as time itself.
I mean, it definitely is. Luis Ortiz is on a 1-year, $782,000 contract with the Cleveland Guardians. Yeah, so he is
that's more than most NIL deals.
Sure.
There might be a couple make more. Not anybody in college baseball.
No. But there are definitely other contracts out there, or other guys out there in other sports that are making more than that. But not a ton. I mean, it's the cream of the crop that are making more than that. But yeah, I mean, if pros are doing that, then
Jaden Rashada wouldn't show up to a camp for $782, would he?
I mean, what's Jaden Rashada going for out at Sac State right now? Hornets.
He's hit them all, hasn't he?
Man, I mean, and what is he like? What is? Are we at? I mean, he had to.
I wonder what the number is this year. SEC starting quarterbacks. I wonder what the going rate is.
That's a good question.
What do you think the average would be?
No clue.
800 starting.
I think maybe a little more. I don't know.
A little more.
Probably is a little bit more. But this year's kind of different because it's so many kind of new guys. I don't want to say under the radar guys, but just different guys.
I said the other day, I can't wait till we start talking football and quit talking money.
Sure.
I think all we've done since I said that is talk money. Do you think on team game broadcasts, money should be talked about? Well, yeah, that guy makes, or do we still kind of act like it not really happening?
I don't think you act like it isn't happening, but I don't think it needs to be a focal point. I mean, how many times are you listening to a professional game other than like, hey, he just signed for this and he's making that? John Morant's not
signed for.
Sure, but John Morant's not missing a three or making a three and they're going, John Morant
making $43 million.
Exactly.
You're right.
So
we don't do that.
I don't see how you would implement it and it being something like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, just how germane is
Sure. I could see, I wouldn't be surprised if, we start seeing like, if this stuff gets more transparent, like I wouldn't be surprised if coaches would like on their coaches show or on like a pregame, postgame kind of want you to just, hey, float that out there so that it can get out there and maybe, a recruit hears it or something like that. People hear it and kind of know what's going on out there.
Or it's been played a million times.
Sure.
Let's put a little pressure on him through the media.
Yeah.
This guy is making X.
Sure.
He needs to play a little better.
And that we could definitely see that. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like, but a lot of things are going to look different. You mentioned Jaden Rashada, and this is beautiful. So we know Jaden Rashada throughout high school. A couple of different schools in high school. We know was committed to Florida. Then the whole ordeal there goes to Arizona State. Spends a year there, then goes to Georgia. So now he is getting ready for his just redshirt sophomore year at Sacramento State. So that means at least 2 more years left after Sacramento State. So that means at least 2 more places that he could ultimately go to after 1 year at Sacramento State. I mean, we could be looking at a guy that is one of those 5-6 place players.
How many career completions?
Oh, that's a great question.
Never mind touchdowns.
Yeah, forget that.
He's done nothing.
He has done nothing. Let's see if I can find Jaden Rashada. But I tell you what, I'll be watching him. I'll be watching Sacramento State next year and watching him play. Didn't see any action last year at Georgia, and at Arizona State the year before as a freshman. 3 games, 44 for 82. For 485 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
All right, so he's around 500 yards and $4 million in his pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm curious what he's getting at Sacramento State right now. That's my big question.
But you can't blame him.
No, certainly not. I mean, hey, go get your money. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and we were talking about either NIL or free agency or something. I said, I can never blame somebody for going and getting their money.
Now, but behind closed doors, money will get talked about.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Look, we're paying you.
Mm-hmm.
You hang on to that ball. Mm-hmm. You catch it.
Oh, yeah. And that's, heck, some coaches are, come out there and say, we're paying them to knock down shots like that,
right.
So it's definitely going on behind the scenes.
Rick Barnes said that last
He exactly did. It was about Chaz Lanier. That's definitely going on behind the scenes of, trying to, hey, we're paying you to do something here. We're not paying you to go out there and turn the ball over or
that,
do this
that
and
was
that.
public from Rick Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking in a little different tone behind the scenes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If a coach is going to say that to the media,
yeah,
he's going to say more behind the scenes, behind closed doors, but nobody else can hear what's going on there. And not just targeting Rick Barnes. That's just the one that he was outward to the
Brian,
media with that.
I think they should. Look, I know they're young.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's somebody's child. I know all that.
Yeah.
But you want to be treated like a pro.
Mm-hmm.
There are expectations like a pro.
Yeah, definitely are.
With a paycheck goes duties.
That's right. And we're starting to see that. Some NBA news that has just come out within the last hour. Rumors that the Suns have been discussing a possible buyout for Bradley Beal. That's interesting. Obviously, they have made it very clear that they've tried to trade him over the last year, but a guy that has a no trade clause and is very particular on those few spots that he would land at, and Phoenix really kind of saying, we want to kind of start over and go in a new direction. maybe that would certainly be big news if
start
if
over, go in a new direction, but keep Devin Booker.
With Devin Booker as Devin Booker is that centerpiece, but you've had this where
wonder how long he's going to like that.
That's a really good question.
22 and 60.
Yeah, well, hey, that's the thing. I mean, you buy out. Everyone's been talking about that pick that the Grizzlies have that will likely be Phoenix's next year. That wherever they're at, the Grizzlies will get that. And people are saying, man, that could be a top 5, top 10 pick.
If we want 22 and 60.
If they buy out Bradley Beal, it certainly could be a very high pick in next year's draft. So that will definitely be one that Grizzly fans are keeping an eye on and seeing how that one plays out.
Did you watch any of the John Deere today?
It is Thursday, isn't it, Brett?
It is Thursday.
I didn't watch it.
It is not Friday.
I did not watch it. Yeah, even worse if I thought it was Friday. No, I did not watch it. Did you watch any of the John Deere today? Do we know who is
I looked at the scoreboard once, and my man Sam Stevens T4.
Okay, all right.
Doug Gim.
Shout out to him.
-9.
Shout out to him.
The leader.
Max Homa, T2. So, okay, there's a pretty big name there. I have not watched any of it today.
John Goin has JT posting.
Where is he?
T145.
Ooh, hate it for him.
I do too.
Oh man, better luck next week. Right. Oh man, who is his other pick this week?
Chris Kirk maybe.
Chris Kirk. I think I just saw Chris Kirk.
T29.
Yes, Chris Kirk's having kind of a good day, but that's okay.
I think John had Chris Kirk.
It's okay. It's all right. Hey, long weekend.
He did.
He can fall off a cliff or something.
T145. We were sincerely saddened, weren't we?
Very. Oh no, so sad. I'm curious. My picks. Who did I have?
I can tell you, Kurt Kitayama,
T29,
yeah, and Jake Knapp, T42.
My God, Jake Knapp. Oh, all right.
A lot of golf play.
Hey, Jake Knapp's gonna. Who was his? Chris Kirk. Chris Kirk gonna move in one direction. Jake Knapp's moving in the other direction, going up towards the top. That's how I view the rest of the weekend playing out. I might watch a little of the John Deere tomorrow.
5 weeks from today, we're at TPC South.
Oh, well, I'll be watching every second of that. You don't gotta ask me if I'm gonna be watching that, but that'll be fun. 5 weeks.
I'm already looking at extended forecast for it.
What's it looking like? Is it looking good?
All good.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Who knows
exactly.
by then?
We'll see what it looks like then. But it was what was it, last year or 2 years ago when it was that super hot Friday?
2 years ago.
That was rough.
After the unseasonably very cool.
Sure
almost
was.
Needed a jacket on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Coolish on Thursday, and then furnace on Friday.
The heat was out on that Friday. Hopefully we don't get that
too cool on Wednesday and Thursday because it threw off our air conditioning.
It sure did. Yeah, that was weird. That was very weird. But no, I'm excited to get back out there.
We went to the golf tournament. The Liberty Bowl broke out.
It sure did. It sure did. But let's get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap things up with Mo's Crunch Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Newsflash, Family Leisure needs your help. Family Leisure has a warehouse full of inventory and they need it cleaned out. So do your part to make room for new items and get great deals on almost everything. Listen up, all in-stock patio furniture is up to 80% off. You can get a 4-piece deep seating set for under $1,000. Chaise lounges, you buy one, you're gonna need another, and that other one will be half off. All Hollywood furniture is now 20 to 30% off. You buy any dining table and you're going to get an umbrella absolutely free. Now, is financing available? Oh, you better believe it. Special financing is a go. To sum it all up, Family Leisure has got to clear out its warehouse inventory, which means you are going to rack up on the savings. Help Family Leisure clear out the warehouse. Family Leisure, Winton Road and I-40, where family and fun come together to clear out the warehouse.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-913-7883 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
It's summer in the Mid-South and deals have never been hotter at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. You'll find 0% for 36 months available on new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Get 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, Car and Driver rated #1 best non-hybrid electric fuel economy with 39 combined MPG. Buy Mirage, only $17,675. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid, $299 a month with combined range of 420 miles. Beats Mazda CX-90's warranty and mileage. And 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $28,480 or $349 a month. Plus peace of mind with 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
37309, MSRP 18175, PHEV SC 00173, MSRP 42615, Sport issue 006141, MSRP 28980, includes all rebates and incentives with 5691 down, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealers back only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Jacobs.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you each and every afternoon by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that it sounds like there is a real possibility that Jonas Valanciunas could decide to make a move to Europe. And obviously that decision would impact the Kings, the Nuggets, the team he just got traded to. What would that mean for that deal? I really don't know. But it does sound like from everybody's reporting that this is a very serious thing for Jonas Valanciunas to go to Greece and play professionally over there. Obviously, would be closer to home where he grew up in Lithuania. So definitely something to keep an eye on with Denver's had a really good offseason. Losing Jonas Valanciunas, obviously a guy that would have played a role for him. No, they definitely did not. And so this will be something to keep an eye on over the weekend and into next week and see if we see some sort of news on a decision.
What I learned today, only 10 baseball games down from the lusty 18 finals yesterday. And really rare to have as many afternoon games tomorrow on a Friday afternoon, but we know why. Absolutely. It's Independence Day. Let's celebrate. Number 249. Next year, 250, I promise y'all. I can remember 200 well, summer of 76.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be fun tomorrow with all those baseball games. Really early in the morning. I think one of them gets started like 10:30 in the morning, so it's real early.
Yeah, that one's in Washington.
Okay, yeah, so that will be a lot of fun. What I could have done without today is this story that we talked about earlier in the show. Jeff Passan reporting this morning that Cleveland Guardians right-handed pitcher Luis Ortiz is under investigation for gambling. Ortiz was placed on paid leave by MLB earlier today amid a league investigation into gambling activities. We later learned that it was due to 2 pitches on June 15th against the Seattle Mariners and June 27th against the St. Louis Cardinals, where the bets were flagged for the first pitch of an inning to be a ball or a hit batsman. We've seen the tape for both of them, and that second one, not very good, not very flattering at all.
Prediction, next sport to have some controversy around it will be golf, with somebody shooting that big score.
Yeah.
I mean, how did he shoot
Sure,
that?
yeah, like you can. I mean, nowadays you can bet and miscut or those sorts of things. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw something like that.
I could have done without. When you think you can't be more amazed by something, we are. From Phil Steele, about the 91st reference today. 2008, Alabama, Coach Nick Saban, other than last year against Georgia, last year against Georgia was the only time they've been a home underdog since 2008.
Holy cow.
They could be a home dog this year against LSU November 8th.
They definitely could. And obviously things changing with Alabama, and it's not Nick Saban's world anymore. It's a whole new guy in charge.
That's what Castellanos told us.
Well, that's right. Nick Saban's not going to be there to save him. Where are you beaming this weekend?
Oh, the north side of Chicago. Take the L to Wrigley and just soak it all in. Cards, Cubbies. That says 4th of July weekend. What scares me, though, 2 of the 3 games starting for the Cardinals, Miles Michaelis and Eric Fetty.
Yeah, well, that's definitely doesn't make you feel good. But, Brett, tomorrow, 4th of July, how could you not beam up to the hot dog eating contest? I mean, it's a 4th of July staple.
My man, Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, I mean, it was proudly in Oxford with the Ole Miss spring game. I mean,
those eating contests are foul.
They're crazy. They're insane. But I guess that will go on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to beam there.
But the Babe Ruth of eating.
Yeah, that is true. For those who are into summer league, we'll have Grizzlies summer league. Will Cedric Coward play? Is the big question. We're still waiting.
We'll watch.
I mean, I'll watch a ton of the Grizzlies summer league. But 5:55 on Thursday. The first game is Saturday. Still haven't seen a roster for the Grizzlies Summer League team. A lot of rosters coming out today.
We know who will coach.
We know who will coach. It will be Tomas Isolo, but what will that roster look like, and will that first-round pick play?
We mentioned earlier, nothing says 4th of July like homeless A's hosting the Giants. Boy, that's a long way from the Polo Grounds. That's a long way from Candlestick.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird one over
Yankees, Mets, Astros, Dodgers.
Some really good series this weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend in baseball, and it starts tomorrow with the kind of all-day affair for the 4th of July. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the 4th of July. Tomorrow, I hope that everyone has a happy and safe 4th of July. We're out tomorrow, but we'll be back here Monday. Will be a lot to recap from a long weekend, but enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.